You already know you're the one they talk about because you can feel it when you walk up and the whole vibe changes. And you've told yourself you're imagining it. Stop doing that. You don't do well in a group that needs everybody thinking the same, and the women in your circle already handled that by labeling you the difficult one. You ask a question when everybody else is nodding, or you say you don't agree when the whole group already agreed, or you don't laugh at the joke just because everybody else laughed, and that alone is enough to get you labeled difficult. Now, add being pretty on top of it and confident and knowing what you're working with, and it's over. Because women like a woman who doesn't know her own power or one who plays the humble card. So ask yourself who that humility would be serving and why, because it damn sure isn't serving you. Hit that subscribe button because this next part is going to make some of you uncomfortable. It goes deeper than your opinions because every group of women has positions in it, and you're supposed to know which one is yours. You got the queen bee, and everybody knows she's the queen bee. Then you got her right hand, the enforcer, the one who repeats whatever the queen said and gets to talk down to everybody except her. Then you got the wannabe under that one who's still auditioning for a spot and will throw anybody under the bus to get it. And then there's you. Out here being yourself, not realizing there's a whole lineup you were supposed to be standing in. So you're talking to the queen bee like she's anybody else. You question her when you don't agree and you're not competing for her approval and you don't act like you're supposed to be under her. Now she's got a whole attitude and you're sitting there like, over a question? Meanwhile, she's thinking, who does this woman think she is talking to me like that? In her mind, she is clutching her pearls and losing her marbles, thinking, how dare she break rules that she did not know was there, and I think she did it on purpose. Like, these type of women are insane on everything I love. So a lot of these women don't even want you gone. They want you demoted. That's why she'll antagonize you and then be perfectly friendly with you a week later because she was never trying to end the friendship. She was correcting your position. And what gets you back in her good graces isn't being nicer to her. It's deferring to her, asking her opinion before you decide something, checking with her first, and treating her like the authority she thinks she is. That's what she's fishing for, and she's got a problem with you operating outside the rank she assigned you, and a problem with your high self-assurance on top of it. You can't be that self-assured and be in the same group as her, so she needs one of those gone. And calling you difficult does something for her that has nothing to do with you, because now she never has to ask herself why she's so uncomfortable around you. She's difficult answers it for her, so she never has to admit that you've got something she wants and can't get. So now you're the difficult one, and that's useful for everybody but you because calling you difficult changes the question. Everybody quits asking why the group treats you like that and starts asking what's wrong with you. So now nobody has to look at how the group really treats you. Nobody's asking why you keep getting interrupted or why that one woman always criticizes you or why the whole table gets quiet when you walk up. They already got their explanation, which is that she's difficult. And if you're the problem, somebody else gets to be reasonable. If you're aggressive, somebody else gets to be the victim. If you're unstable, nobody has to examine what was happening before you reacted. And this is what nobody says about groups of women. A group that agrees on who's beneath them doesn't have to fight each other. You holding that spot is what keeps the peace between all of them, and that's why they'll protect the arrangement even when every one of them knows it isn't fair. Because as soon as you're not the problem anymore, they have to figure out who is. Then being the difficult one becomes the lens. You speak up and now you're difficult. Then you defend yourself and now you're hostile. So you pull back and stay to yourself. You don't say much at the function and then you're labeled antisocial. But when you walk through confident and talkative, they claim you're seeking attention. Nothing you do looks right once you've got that difficult label on you because their mind is already made up. So now they're just waiting for you to say or do something they can misconstrue to fit the narrative they already got about you. And some of these women keep you around because they know you're going to say what you think. So the wannabe brings something up around you on purpose because getting a reaction out of you is how she performs for the queen bee, and everybody at that table settles in to watch. Half of them aren't even thinking, let's mess with her. They're thinking, let's see what she says about it. So y'all are out to eat and she goes, oh, who you all dressed up for? While she's looking you up and down. And listen to what that question is really saying, because it's saying a woman like you doesn't put yourself together for yourself. You must have known a man was coming. You must be trying to be seen. There has to be somebody you're performing for, because it can't just be that you like looking good and you got up and did that for you. And she glances around the table when she says it. By this point, she's not even directly looking at you. However, she's looking around and waiting on somebody to laugh so she knows they're with her. So you check her, and that's the part everybody highlights and acknowledges. And that reaction is exactly what she's been fishing for, because up until then, it was just a feeling she had about you and she couldn't prove it. She's been sitting on a private problem she can't explain to anybody without sounding jealous. But now you checked her in front of everybody and she gets to go tell it however she wants to tell it, because she gets to choose when the story starts, and she's going to lie about the rest of it. She's not telling anybody about the months she spent picking at you. She's telling them you went off on her out of nowhere. So now everybody is judging your reaction without the sequence that produced it. And you're the one explaining context, which is already losing because whoever's explaining is the one who looks guilty. Now, let's talk about everybody else who was sitting at that table, because they don't have to say one word to you to be part of this. They watched her go at you all night and none of them said anything to her about it. Then you check her, and now suddenly everybody's got something to say to you. And they're not confused about what happened. They picked the easier person to correct because checking her means friction and she's going to get defensive and it's going to be a whole thing. But telling you to calm down is easy. And they didn't take her side because they thought she was right. They took her side because handling her would have been work. And it goes further than that, because agreeing with the queen bee is cheaper than looking at how they've been treating you this whole time. The wannabe is going to co-sign the loudest, since backing the queen bee up is how she gets her spot. And once she co-signs it, she participated. So she needs you to be the problem too, because if you're not, then she was sitting right there watching a woman get picked apart and doing nothing about it. And this doesn't happen at brunch. It doesn't just happen there. It happens at your job, where your income is at stake and your livelihood. So sometimes you might feel like you have to be extra strategic and tread carefully, especially if the perpetrator is somebody who is part of your leadership or your higher up. Because you say in a meeting that you don't think the plan is going to work. You say it calm while you back it up with irrefutable reasons. Then 2 weeks later, you're hearing that you're not a team player and somebody has already put in an email that you were combative. You weren't loud. You didn't cut anybody off. You disagreed. And once that's in your file, it doesn't come out. You get passed over for opportunities and promotions, and they'll tell you it was about fit. Then you watch somebody with half your work ethic get moved up because everybody likes being around her, and being easy to be around was the actual qualification. And at your job, you got a woman with that same hierarchy, clicked up vibe and mentality, and she's got influence over your promotions and over how the higher ups see your character. But then when y'all have y'all one-on-one run-ins, that same demeanor is not there. She ain't never got nothing cute or clever to say when she ain't got her cronies backing her up, and she can't hold her own without her minions. And this is the same person who's been sabotaging your reputation, bad mouthing you to other people to put you in a bad light, when really she's everything negative that she claims you are. Now, if you're a Black woman, they're going to escalate it, and watch how nothing you do is safe. You speak firmly, that's aggressive. Then you express frustration, and that's angry. You say no to a request, that's difficult. And you're not smiling, so that's hostile. You set a boundary, that's intimidating. And you defend yourself, that's combative. Then you stay quiet, now you've got an attitude. And what makes this worse is that the label gets to borrow a stereotype that was already sitting there. So the same behavior another woman gets called assertive for becomes proof that you're hostile by nature. And now the group doesn't even have to build a case against you. It was already built. So how are you supposed to prove you're not angry when the woman calling you angry is benefiting from you spending all your time proving it? So you own it, and be precise about what you're owning, because I'm not telling you to go be hostile. I'm telling you to redefine the charge. If it means you ask questions, fine. If it means you don't automatically agree with the group, fine. If it means you're difficult, nobody can manipulate you, then yes, you are extremely difficult and there's nothing anybody can do about it. So stop trying to prove you're not the problem, because if somebody already decided you are, you getting more agreeable is not going to change their mind about you. All it does is teach them that the accusation works on you, so you don't need everybody to agree that you're sweet, and you don't need the woman who antagonized you to admit she antagonized you. Not one of those people who caught the last 5 minutes needs to understand the 5 months before it, because you know what happened.